of gross bananas and expired milk. Whatever shall I do? No, wait. This is actually a very happy day. I'm Rebecca Farnham. This is Recipes with Rebecca, and it's banana bread time. If you ever throw away a too ripe banana or expired milk again, shame on you. Because these, combined with a little bit of flour, sugar, and tiny bits of other things, are the best thing in the world. Super sweet, super moist, delicious banana bread. It is not possible for these bananas to be too ripe. If they go completely black and you don't have time to bake yet, throw the completely gross dead banana in the freezer. It's fine. Wait until you have an accumulation and then just make a ton on one of the beautiful rainy Saturday or Sunday afternoons or something. If you have expired milk, it can be a substitute for buttermilk. Don't throw it away. Do put it in some kind of container or mark it in some way so that you, your children, and or other domestic partners do not drink it accidentally, because that would be less than delightful. But there's no reason to actually throw it down the drain. The more expired it is, the better for these purposes. Words. Okay, so banana bread. Firstly, I'm going to double a batch that my mother would have me make. But again, of course, this is all ratios. I'll probably put a slightly less small quantity in the comments below here, but for these purposes, I'm doubling everything, except that we know that I don't actually follow recipes, so I'm really just throwing more than usual in. This milk was actually only the 2nd of June, so it's not super expired yet, which means it's not super buttermilky yet. But that is also okay. You don't need buttermilk. You can just add lemon juice or vinegar. So I'm pouring about 2 cups, give or take. Again, I really do not believe in measurement, or I believe in recipes and that I like ideas. I don't believe in recipes and that they make you actually measure things. Okay, so as I said, that's not quite sour enough, and I don't have any white vinegar in this country. So in goes some lemon juice just to help it curdle, as it were. And now we are going to add some baking soda to our buttermilk mixture. This is going to be lots of fun and foam up a good bit. And the more buttermilky it is, the more it will foam. You're looking for approximately 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of buttermilk. I should get a spoon of some sort. Not that spoon, no. Here I was thinking I'd been all good and, rummaged through cupboards already. Okay. Going to stir that up, help it foam. It's making nice fun bubbles. Set that aside, let it do its little chemical thing. Okay, so just leave the milk for now. Another large container. You want some sugar. We're aiming for about 3 cups right now. We'll call that 3 cups. With some egg. If you want to do a vegan banana bread, you can be careful with the kind of milk and the kind of butter that you use, and then just add more banana, because banana kind of does the consistency flavor thing that the egg will do. So it will bake slightly differently, but it will hold together as a bread and not be a problem. So that works in most things, actually. If you don't want to use egg, or you don't have egg, and you don't want to use egg substitute, and banana works with whatever the flavor is, throw some banana in. It will work delightfully. And then some butter or margarine. I suggest having let this sit out. I, of course, failed to do that. For this recipe, it doesn't really matter the texture of the butter, though. So to make things really super simple, I'm going to nuke it. Forgive me, gods of cooking, who are against melting butter in the microwave. Get over it! Ain't nobody got time for all that fanciness. So we're just going to let that go. And then beat it all up in here. We are also then going to add flour and, instead of baking soda this time, baking powder, because why not use both? If you don't have both, who cares? They're one or the other. You do want the soda in the milk if you can at all, just because it'll give it that foamy feeling and make the bread springier and more volumed, as it were. If you don't have it, no big deal. While that butter is melting, I'm going to go ahead and start beating egg into the sugar, making a really, really delightfully healthy looking mixture. Really is very attractive. Then we're going to add butter and it's going to get even more beautifully terrible for you. But if anyone asks, banana bread is basically bananas and flour. Yeah. So it's really quite a health food. It definitely counts as one of your 5 a day. Definitely. I'm impatient, so I'm looking it up. Nah. Shockingly, the microwave does not always deal with my impatience and just cater right to it. That's okay. We'll beat some more. Okay, yeah, I just kind of threw these in without measuring, as you noticed. On a regular batch, we're looking for about 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 egg, and then 1/2 cup of butter. I'm gonna throw some vanilla in. Roughly a teaspoon. That was more than a teaspoon, but I'm doing a double batch. Also, I like vanilla. You can't, it's really hard to add too much vanilla to something. I mean, if you upended the entire container, that'd be a lot of vanilla, because vanilla just as it is not that lovely an item. But once you mix it with some sugar, oh, beautiful stuff. Okay. And then that's more than 1/2 cup of butter, but again, I'm kind of doubling-esque this recipe. And also, it's butter. Another thing, it's difficult to add too much of. The nice thing, this is a very forgiving kind of recipe. The order in which things go in doesn't matter all that much. It means the texture will be slightly different every time when you don't use measurements or don't do it in the same way, of course. But it's banana bread. It's soft banana gooiness. It's going to be good, kind of regardless of what you're doing with it. So I now have this really very healthy looking thing. We're going to add, I almost dumped more sugar in. And if you do dump more sugar in, who cares? Just quadruple up the batch and pull out some more roast bananas. You can do it with green bananas if you want. It will give a different kind of banana flavor. Kind of when they're riper, the banana-iness comes out and infiltrates things a bit more. So it is better. But say, you know, you have a 2-year-old and his favorite activity is mashing bananas at your house. You can do it with the green ones if necessary. Yeah, took the mistake of taking Yorth to Tesco the other day and he saw the bananas. Mashed bananas? Well, okay, I guess we're making banana bread today. Anyway, so threw in some flour. In our traditional recipe, that would have been about 2 cups. I kind of threw 4-ish in. Basically, we're going to throw everything together, and then if it seems too wet or too dry, we're just going to throw more milk, more banana, or more flour in. And who really cares? And I almost forgot the powder. If I had forgotten the powder, who cares? Again, the texture's not going to be the same every time, but that's, I mean, all to the better. Who wants to eat exactly the same thing every single time? That's kind of boring. As long as you get the basic stuff in there, it's going to be rather delicious. Okay, so at this point, it looks kind of more like a cookie dough, actually. But we are going to solve that by throwing in our milk mixture, which at this point is lovely and frothy and bubbly and all kinds of things. If it's not super frothy, don't matter. That just means it wasn't super buttermilky. Really does not matter in the slightest. But the frothier it is, again, kind of the springier your banana bread will be. At first this is going to look really soupy and not combined together at all. Just keep stirring, just keep stirring, just keep stirring. I'm not as good at that one as Ellen DeGeneres says I will. If it's not combining, you may switch from a spoon to a fork. If you really want to be lazy and or thorough in your mixing, you could use a whisk or a beater. Don't bother. But if you want to, you can. Oh yes, put your oven on at about 350, or that's Fahrenheit, so whatever the temperature, 200, 270-ish. Mine's currently off. Oops. I thought I'd had that on. I didn't have that on. It is now on. And then the nice thing about this is that you can do any size container that you want. So I tend to get impatient and just fill every container I have. However, none of those were what I wanted to show you. A favorite for the office is the mini muffin tins. And you just keep going and cycling them through and continuing to make tiny little muffins, and they are delicious. At this point, you can also throw in walnuts or chocolate chips if you'd like. Chocolate chips are, yes, you'd like, of course, unless you don't like chocolate, in which case I'm very sorry for you. You can put the chocolate chips directly, or the walnuts, or whatever else, directly in and stir it up and kind of go it throughout. You also can pour it into the muffin tins or the bread loaf or whatever, and then just sprinkle on top. That's really fun. I like to do circle pans and make it really thin, so it's almost like a banana pancake-esque. I mean, I'm talking like a centimeter tops, and then the chocolate chips on top. That is quite delightful. Okay, yeah, so, oh, there's no, I was like, the texture's wrong. I haven't put in bananas. You're looking, well, okay, no, I'm not even gonna tell you. You put in bananas. However many bananas you have is fine. The more bananas you have, the more banana-y it will be. They're not, too much banana is like not gonna screw up your texture, because it's pretty much the texture of what you're going for. You're just wanting it to be baked. So we're surrounding it with flour and sugar. So just put in however much you've got. I'll put in my mother's technical measurements below in the comments, just so technically, if you need numbers, there will be numbers. But yeah, I definitely just tend to put in whatever my flatmates have left me on the table. I think we all buy bananas, and that, like, knowing that we will never eat 5 bananas in the next month, and then they just occasionally, like, leave me dead bananas on the table, and it's a little, like, hint, you know, Becca, make me banana bread. Then I do, and we eat, like, lots. I don't want a lot of banana bread gets eaten and made in this house. It's really not good. But like I said, it's practically a health food, so really it's fine. Totally fine. Okay, yes, so bananas. Mush up the bananas in there. And then you'll get a texture that is in between cookie dough and pumpkin pie mix, but that doesn't help, probably, many of you. Hold on. I'll just mush up a little bit. Okay, it should look like this. I don't know if that helps at all. So it'll fall off the spoon, but some of it will stay behind. You can mush the bananas as much or as little as you want. If you want some big chunks in there, by all means, it's delicious. Who is going to complain when they bite into banana bread and have a bit of banana? If it's, again, obviously the riper it is, the easier it will be to mush and the less likely you are to get lumps. If you have super green bananas and you were just desperate to make banana bread, you may want to bring out the mixer, just because otherwise it's going to be really hard to mush it all in. If you have a child, or anyone else with childlike tendencies, by all means, throw bananas in a separate bowl and have them sit there and mush while you're, throwing flour and sugar in the bowl and everything. They'll have a grand time, and then your bananas will be partially pre-smushed, and all will be well. Yeah, and once you've got this lovely dough, throw it. Oh, I just dumped some on the washing machine. That was less than clever. Oh well. Throw some in whatever pans you want. Throw it in the oven at about 350. You're looking at roughly 20 minutes, but obviously when you have muffins versus full-size tin, etc., like that changes dramatically. So just keep an eye on it. Golden brown toothpick and or fork put in the middle should come out clean. Basic brownie or bread cooking technique there. Yeah, I think that's about it. I will make this a little more understandable in, the about video thing that's below. And that's banana bread. Enjoy. Again, do not throw away the gross bananas, because they're not gross, they're